All right. Not how I wanted to end my day. Um, Everyone, J Bone here for Smash This podcast. Uh Found this literally minutes after I just got done with my live video talking about Monday Night Raw. And one of the first things I see is fellow local wrestling promoter from around here, Milwaukee area, David Hero, talking about one of his friends. He knew King Kong Bundy had passed away. Shared pictures of himself being in the ring, along with his son being with King Kong Bundy. Um, Pictured with him. Um, yeah, Blood Rain. Gone too soon. It's sad, especially to me. Um, yeah, that's three in one day. It's crazy. Yep. Luke Perry, Keith Flynn from the Prodigy, and here I was just thinking, hours ago, hey, we didn't have three today. We did. It's sad for me because one of the first memories I have, I mean, when you go back to the first few WrestleManias, it gets it gets pretty it gets a little fuzzy. I'm not gonna lie. You're going back to the mid 80s. I was 9, 10, depending. Um, uh, first WrestleMania was 80. I want to say, hang on a second. I got the article here. "1985 inaugural WrestleMania." So, okay, it's been confirmed from a few websites, have all gone up within the last literally like half hour. WWE does not have anything up on it yet. I'm sure it will within the next 12 to 24 hours. But he does have a profile, superstar, stats, whatever you want to call it, on here, his bio. So I read a portion of this. The late Gorilla Monsoon often referred to King Kong Bundy as a walking condiment. I could hear that in my head now. I can totally. That sounds like something he would say. An apt description for a giant who tipped the scales at an earth-shaking 458. 458 pounds. It's unbelievable. Stomping in WWE rings in 1984, the Atlantic City Monster made an impact by destroying opponents with his avalanche splash and then demanding a 5 count from the referee. The awesomeness of Bundy's power was fully displayed in 1985's inaugural WrestleMania, where the Titan disposed of his opponent, Special Delivery Jones, SD Jones, in 9 short seconds. perhaps the biggest match of Bundy's career, and this is where I remember him from specifically, occurred the following year in WrestleMania 2 when he battled Hulk Hogan in the steel cage match for the WWE Championship. WWF back then. Remember the blue cage? If you remember the blue cage, some fond memories of that blue cage. That will always be to me this my introduction to the steel cage is that blue cage. The awesomeness of Bundy's power was fully displayed in. Oh, I read that. Perhaps the biggest match of Bundy's. Read that. Excuse me. Okay, perhaps the biggest match of Bundy's career occurred when the following year in WrestleMania 2 when he battled Hulk Hogan in the steel cage match for the WWE Championship. Hogan won the contest, but Bundy's mammoth girth and devastating splashes came close to putting the Hulkster away for good. Unwrapping the bandages from his torso. That's vividly engraved in my mind. Bundy would take a hiatus from WWE in the late 80s before returning in 1994 as a member of the Million Dollar Man's Million Dollar Corporation, setting his sights on The Undertaker. Bundy stepping into the ring with the Dead Man in WrestleMania 11. See, that whole time right there, mid 90s, I wasn't watching then. I had stepped away from it pretty much throughout most of my years in high school. While the massive grappler proved to be a worthy adversary for Taker, he lost the match and became another victim of the Phenom's legendary WrestleMania streak. King Bundy exited WWE shortly after his loss, but the big man will always be remembered as one of the most unique, devastating individuals to ever set foot in the ring. And I'm sure he'll have an article put up on WWE.com. He's someone that should have been in the Hall of Fame. I never understood that. I don't know what his relationship was with the company in the later years. I do not know. I haven't watched any shoot interviews speak. Blood Rain says he was booked for a show from what I read too. Yeah. This year's WrestleCon is what I'm hearing everybody say in shock of all this. And he was booked for a match with, I believe, Al Snow, WrestleCon. And that was just hours ago. So I don't know exactly when today he passed, or it's actually yesterday now as we speak. Well, depending on where you are, it's the 4th when he passed. And it's a piece of my childhood that's gone. Those early big championship matches with Hulk Hogan and some of the most phenomenal bad guys, heels, villains, whatever you wanted to call them back then. Devastating. Andre, Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy. You had to put him in that list. Kamala, you know. Um, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people remember that too. The Married with Children, and then I also saw some headlights. Headlights. I'm tired. I'm sorry. um, highlights of a Richard Pryor movie called Moving. That one's real fuzzy. I don't remember that one. The Animal, yeah, we lost him. Is that last year? I want to say last year. Um, yeah, it's sad. But that's one of my first wrestling memories is his steel cage match with Hogan that will always have a very special place in my heart as one of the most. I mean, that was epic back then. That was truly the epitome of epicness. You look at some of the events we've had throughout the years, and they just don't hold a candle to stuff like this. Um, Joking about how my wife told me earlier today, oh yeah, by the way, we still have the WWE network. Well, I'm not going to do it now because it's late and I'm tired. Um, I'm going to watch some WrestleMania 2 tomorrow and look up and see when some other highlighted moments from Bundy's career and try to find them on the WWE network. Dust that puppy off. Haven't been on the WWE network in a while. Besides watching the Rumble recently. What else does Blood Rain has to say? He's been with me from this. Thank you. That's when the WWF was good, in my opinion. Very true. I enjoyed those years when Bundy was just one of the many guys who had proper characters and were world famous. Oh, those guys were just huge back. The rock and wrestling era, the cartoons, when there was it was black and white. There was no gray back then. You were either a heel or a face. You were a good guy or a bad guy. There were no blurred lines like today where we cheer half the bad guys because ooh, it's cool. And we have our favorites like Kevin Owens and oh other heels, whatever. And we cheer them because we don't care. The fandom today has changed so much compared to what it was back then. Back then, it was no one cheered for Bundy. No one cheered for Andre when he was heel. You know, you hated who you hating. Oh, you let them know. You chased them out of town with the torches and the pitchforks. It's not much exaggeration. It happened a lot back then, I think. Oh man, Sheiky baby, yeah. So yeah, wanted to come on here and just a few things about it. Um, it's late. Like I said, I'm tired. I'm gonna hit the hay, and we'll be back much later today. We'll talk some MLW and some other stuff. we'll see how SmackDown is. It's it's an exciting, no matter what brand you watch, it's an exciting time of year, except for when you have to talk about stuff like this. Um, well, you don't have to talk about stuff like this, but I'm uh I'm an older wrestling fan, so when you think of the classics, these are the classics you think of if you're my age. Um, yeah, and he's a guy that you didn't hear about much unless you were in close ties with him. You didn't hear, but he wasn't brought back. He wasn't one of the guys you always saw for the anniversary, you know, shows. Not mentioned at all. So maybe he didn't have a good repertoire with the WWE in his later years. It is what is. A lot of veterans don't, but he is still, beyond saying that, he's still one of those guys that absolutely should have been in the Hall of Fame and given the proper respect. But, you know, now that he's passed and whatever bridges are long gone, um, they can put him in now and maybe have a guy like Hulk Hogan put him in. I actually think that would be pretty fitting, besides family members, of course. Um, that's about all there is to say tonight, I guess. So we're gonna get out of here. Um, and by all means, let me know, an older wrestling fan like me, what's your favorite moment of Bundy's career? Maybe you'll come up with something that I've never seen before that I should go check out, because my stuff goes back pretty far. But like I said, his stuff in the 90s, I'm not real familiar with. So I've seen a lot of stuff, but I haven't seen everything. So uh, we'll see you guys. Well, now it's tomorrow. We'll see you guys later today and talk some more wrestling. Good night, folks. Much love.